we'll see how this looks. This is a lot more sturdier. Anyways, I'm on my way to go meet a musician friend, or actually, no, a musician here locally in Olympia. A friend of mine forwarded him onto me and me onto him, trying to connect us. He wants to do some scoring and composing for films and short films. We'll see what ends up happening with this. But yeah, he sent me a message back in like August or October last year, or September, I don't remember when. But I got so busy, I lost track, and then I saw he had invited me to an event. I was like, who's this guy? I don't remember friending this guy, or why am I friends with this guy? And then I looked, I was like, oh yeah, the message, okay. Hey buddy, how you doing? Sorry it's been a while, I've been busy. And so now we're doing a meeting. So this is how you do, this is how you meet people. This is how you get creatives to work together. You meet with them, get them coffee, and feel each other out. There's only so much you can do in a meeting, as I know from years of experience. Yeah, hopefully we'll have a beneficial meeting. See you later. So that meeting I just had went really well. Pete seems like a cool guy. We'll hopefully be able to work on a project in the future. But yeah, networking. Meeting people in the community who are talented at what they do and want to do it with you for free at the beginning. That's always the promise and the hope. And then hopefully, if your relationship works out together, you can work on something later on that maybe can be paid. But I mean, if you've never worked with someone, you have to like trust that they're going to be really, really good on a project. That can be problematic, especially if there's money involved. But yeah, if you can do something for free in short term, that's not a lot of commitment. That's totally awesome. And it sounds like that's what we're gonna try to do. I let them know about the student films at SPS. So if anyone's up for the challenge to work with a composer, it's not that much of a challenge. You just have to have the vision as the director. Wow, imagine that, a director with a vision. It's not too crazy in today's world. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I'm headed to SPSCC right now, about to drop off some gear right before quarter break. It's so weird to think that it's already break. It feels like it shouldn't be over, but it's over, and spring quarter is upon us already in 2 weeks. So I'll have a little bit of a week next week to finish up any developing stuff I've got to finish up on, and yeah, sort of plan for next quarter and how to make it bigger and better. Spring is always an interesting quarter, I think. You get a lot of students who are like, hey, I'm graduating, I want to try out filmmaking, and those can and can't be really good. There's a term that Riley's called on before in the past. I forget what it's called, but it was really accurate to how they act. But people sometimes will just take the class to just feel it out, but not have that much motivation because they're seniors and they're not trying to get a degree in this, or they're not trying to like get credits for. They're just doing it as an elective, and sometimes that can be unfortunate for the students who want to actually try to do this for more than just a class. But it's balanced, and hopefully as a senior in high school, you're mature enough to actually see things through and make it happen. So not everyone's like that. But anyways, so yeah, spring quarter should be really cool. It's been awesome kind of working with Mike Gray as a new professor there at SPS. And yeah. Yep, got rehearsals tonight, and I'll maybe see you then. I just had a thought. It kind of made me realize something. I reached in my pocket for my headphones, and they weren't with me. I said, oh no, thinking time. I have to start thinking now. I can't just drive and listen to something. That doesn't make me feel any better. I feel pretty sad that that the only time I get my chance to think is when I'm driving without headphones. There's gotta be a balance, Brandon. anyways, I just got out of a meeting. Short little meeting. I was there for 20 minutes. I got to head over to our $5 preview for Dow tonight for 1984. What fun! And yeah, it's a development meeting for an institute. Not much more details to be given, but I'll probably be doing marketing and stuff for it, so that'll be fun. Oh, that's who I should contact. Marie, I'm coming your way. Coming to pick your brain. But yeah, so that's fun. I'd say all that, and I don't want to sound pretentious because there are so many buzzwords that can go with that. Oh yeah, man, I was at a business meeting. Probably the marketer, startups, there's so many buzzwords I just hate people use, talking about how they're killing it. I'm gonna have $1 million by the time I'm 23. Whoops, I missed that one. I'm 24. No, I'm 23. You keep looking away from me. Camera can't handle the bounce in the ride. But yeah, I'll probably be putting together a marketing team for this program, is what it'll probably be. Program/institute. We'll be hoping to expand into an actual building for ourselves. We're believing that's what we're doing. But yeah, it'll be fun. So I'm thinking about other people that will be putting on that team. And the rain is back. All that spring weather you saw earlier, it's gone. I told my sister this morning, oh, it's whack-a-mole weather. It's on and off, and it's hit and miss. It doesn't really matter. It's all over the place. Unfortunately, we get to deal with this in the spring, but it makes everything green, and that's how this ecosystem works. Whoa! But yeah. Yep. Very interesting. I get used to this weather. The one kind I don't like is when I'm out there for 30 seconds walking to and from my car, to and from my business, and I'm soaked by the time I'm at the location. That's not fun. That's drudgery. I'll be damp. I'll deal with a little light mist rain or whatever this is. This is kind of a mix. But pouring down rain. Come on, Washington. Don't do that to me. I don't like that. Anyways, but yeah, opening tonight at Dow. $5 preview. This is in the past. You won't be able to take advantage of that. Although Pay What You Can will be here. Pay What You Can Day is here. There you go. Now I've actually set this vlog up so that I cannot just sit on it. If I'm a good producer for myself, I'll tell myself I have to get this out before that comes out, before Pay What You Can Day is, so that I have to actually put that date where my hand was. Accountability to myself. Imagine that. That'll be crazy. We'll see. All these bumpy roads are because I'm heading into downtown Olympia, going down the hill off of State Avenue. And if you look back at the footage in slow motion, you'll see I glanced up at whatever was up in the top right of my vision. That's because I didn't know the name of the street. Forgive me, Olympia, I don't know the name of some of these streets. Although I know lots of locations. If we needed to film a crime thing in Olympia, I could make it work. We could make it look like a big city. The camera is amazing to cheat stuff. Maybe not a big city, maybe a medium city with a combination of Olympia, Tumwater. Probably that's it, because Lacey doesn't have anything to offer as far as big buildings and big city look. But yeah, they got cool cop cars. I want to get myself a cop car. One of these days, that's going to be a goal, is to just have an unmarked Crown Victoria, or, I mean, now they're kind of getting phased out, but, what is that? Shoot, what are they using, man? Explorers or yeah, I think it's the Ford Explorer. No, that's not right. They're using something. I don't even know. But one of those that I can dress up as a cop car and have, like, limited insurance on it so that it will, oh, cool. It will, I can use it for any scene, because everyone needs a cop car, and they're super expensive. And, police and law enforcement are an easy, I find an easy an easy way to write something into your script. I don't know what the word is. I'm not a writer. Don't quote me on that. It's something else. It's an easy plot device. Maybe that's one of the words. But it's an easy plot device to sort of get things in motion. And making it look believable is really challenging. So I pity anyone who wants to do a cop or have a cop in their in their film, because one, uniforms are not easy to mimic. We've all seen a policeman. We've all interacted with them. So we can spot a fake super easily. Two, there's a certain way to just like there's so many like intricacies that when you just glance at a police officer you don't think, but then you look back at pictures of them and you're like, oh man, that's a lot. And if you actually had all the stuff to make a cop uniform work, it'd probably cost you a bit of money. But there's ways to build fake things for a vest and a uniform and everything. But that's one of my goals, is to have a police car, some police uniforms, and I'm here at the Midnight Sun. And be able to lend them out for dirty cheap. Dirty cheap. That's not dirt cheap, that's dirty cheap. That is like base level bottom scrubbing filmmaking, and yeah, that's a fun kind. Getting to do bootstraps. All right, look it, I'm here. Say hello, Olympia. Midnight Sun's right over there. All right. We just had our first sort of opening. It was our preview night. And that was exciting. That was interesting. We had two kind of major upsets with the sound cues. Both of them glitched. Like right when they didn't need to, and one of them was towards the end of the show, unfortunately, and kind of screwed the pace of everything up. But it worked. People liked it. Yeah. I felt pretty okay on lights. Some of the actors missed their lines, unfortunately, but you know, it's the show. It's final dress. After those snafus, it was definitely a final dress. But we pushed through it, made it work, and yeah, it's done. It is 10:27, and I'm ready to go home. But I think I might need to do things editing-wise. Got projects that need to finish up, but I don't want to right now because it's late. Just want to go home and finish up Iron Fist. We don't all get to do what we want to do sometimes, but yeah, real fun. These actors have been a joy to work with. It's been awesome. I've the cast for 1984 is Gabriel McClelland, who I've worked with before. He was a director in Peck at the sort of run of shows that they do, an anthology of shows, short plays in the fall, which they won't be doing this year, I've heard, so that's different. But last year was their 5th year in a row. I ASM'd with George Doherty, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I worked with him on a previous show with that. Xander Layden is the other person in the show. I worked as an extra with Xander. It was a lot of fun on Journey Quest. We got to sort of be in the same scene in season 3. But I've heard he's a legendary actor, and I've seen him, and he's a great actor. Yeah, and then we got Maggie Ferguson Wagstaff. I think that's the order of her last name. She's a great actress, works a lot at Harlequin. She's been great to work in the show. She's been really cool. And let's see, who else? Morgan Picton, who I've only recently became aware of as of like this last year as a comedian. I saw him for the first time at what's it called? At a comedy show, or maybe it was the fundraiser for Dow. They did end of 2015 or early 2016. That was a lot of fun. And he works there at Olympia Film Society. He's one of the main guys there. And let's see, we got Mark Alford, who I've only again recently became aware of through Vanessa, and he's a really cool actor and he's a really cool dude. I I feel most connected to his character because for like the first 3, or maybe it was less than that. It felt like a lot more because I hate reading. Some of you who know me really well know that I hate reading in front of anyone. Like for presentations, I never had to do it because I was homeschooled. When I did have to do presentations in college, I had like super cotton mouth, and like it was the worst. It was one of the most like worst experiences that I had to put myself through. But I had to do this with these phenomenal actors early on in the run, and I felt bad for these people who were familiarizing themselves with the script, but then I was doing blocking for Mark's character, and they had to have me just dead face read stuff and try to give emotions and have intonation where it shouldn't belong. Oh, it was so bad. I felt bad, but they were all too forgiving out loud. Who knows how they actually felt, but I believe them, I guess. But yeah, so I feel most connected with his character, and because I know his lines really well, and I know his blocking, at least the early blocking. It's changed a lot since 30 weeks ago. But anyways, so Mark's been a lot of fun to see in the show and work with. And that's all of the party members, and then we got John Sarembe, who I first saw in Head That Wouldn't Die, I believe, and then I saw him in another show. I forget which show, but he's a really phenomenal actor in this area, and he plays the role of O'Brien, and he's really creepy and good at it. But yeah, so the cast has been a joy to work with. It's been a great production. Yeah, yep. I feel like for me and not knowing theater, playwrights, scripts, none of that portion. I know film quite a bit, but I feel like this kind of show with 5 people mainly on the stage for the whole time, there's a lot of opportunity for everyone to sort of play. I as just me, I come from the background where if you're an actor and you're not acting, it's a disservice to the actor. Like, why have them in there if they're only going to say like 1 or 2 lines? But in theater, there's background roles, and film, there's background roles, so it's expected sometimes. But for me, I think that this show, as far as everyone's time that they have to put into this, because theater's a long haul, it's really worth everyone being there, because they all get to have their own moments each, like a lot of the show. Citizen 1 and 2, or excuse me, party member 1 and 2, Mark and Maggie have a big majority because they're the two. Mark plays Winston, and Winston's the main character, and Maggie plays Winston's love interest, Julia, and they're telling their story a lot in the whole thing. But they have a lot of this. They have a lot of like upfront time, and then party member 3 and 4 both get their own chances to shine as well. And Xander plays party member 3, and he's phenomenal. I always am waiting for his lines because they're so memorable, and he delivers them so well. But yeah, it's a fun show. It's a fun show. It's different. My parents might be coming to one of the shows, but yeah. Yep. A lot of fun. I'm on my way to the church. I don't know. I didn't know why I didn't take the freeway. I guess I'm just talking to you. At the corner of Lily and Pacific. This is my view. Now you see it. Now you don't. Oh, I'm tired. But yeah, Hell Week's over. Woo! I'm on break next week. I'm on break next week I'm on break next week from SBS, so that's a lot of fun. Yeah, man, it's great. I get to catch up on some things. Sleep probably being one of them after this next weekend. We'll see. Uh-huh.